And now, welcome back to Scarves Only Know with two very special guests. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Me first? Okay, I'm Alanis. Yes, I like the Beach Boys. I've started listening to them now and I'm a fan. I'm also a fan of the Scarves, obviously. So yeah, and then I
Obviously.
also want to excuse my angle because I'm on my iPad and the camera, like, it's a really big iPad, so like the camera's like really far away. So that's for the YouTube watchers. That's why my like I'm like really awkwardly cropped right now. But yeah.
You're a professional podcaster already, Alanis.
The composition.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Jack Perry, and I'm a big Beach Boys fan. I'm no expert at all, but there's a lot of nostalgia with them because their greatest hits album is my mom's Desert Island album. So I grew up like around that vibe of their music. Um, but I'd never heard of this album or actually any of the songs on this album before I listened to it for this. So it was all new.
Exciting.
Wow.
I
It's
didn't
a
know
big
that
deal then.
about your mom, Jack. That's very cool.
Yeah, I was just telling Tom and I told Jenny too that I personally know about the Beach Boys. Like, I grew up knowing who they were because I watched Full House all throughout my childhood. And John Stamos apparently has like some connection to the Beach Boys that I don't really understand. So you guys could clear that out for me, what the connection is. But yeah.
I don't know the connection. He just showed up. he like plays with them now or something. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. We should do like a Stamos episode, or maybe we'll try to
Dissect
get him on
him.
the show or something.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I don't know if he'll ever say yes though.
Actually, my high school's speech and debate coach's son-in-law is John Stamos. So he
Okay.
married
Say that
and he
again?
married an alum from my high school.
That's
Okay.
cool.
What was the connection? Your
My high school's debate coach's son-in-law is John Stamos.
gotcha.
Wow.
I never talked to the speech and debate coach in my life, but I'll do what it
So,
takes to get
It
John on
might
this.
happen, guys.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
Basically, that's what's happening.
Imagine if you actually got John Stamos on Scarves Only Know.
That would be great. Yeah, we were also joking. My mom and I were joking about like getting the cast for Love and Mercy to join the show. That would be a very difficult task, I think.
I think we could do it. No, I think we could do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if our connections pull through. Jenny, do you want to introduce the album and kind of say why we have these special guests for this album? It's kind of obvious, but I don't know.
Yes, this album is called Friends, and we invited our friends on. So basically that's what's going on. I honestly don't know too much history about it. Came out in 1968, I think. And I read that Brian Wilson dubbed it his second unofficial solo album, meaning that he took a lot of these songs. Well, he like produced. They're all his stuff basically.
And his
But yeah,
first
after Pet Sounds, yes.
Yeah, I read that he even used like session musicians for some of the songs. So, I mean, I'm not sure. Are the Beach Boys like, do they play their instruments or are they just like singers? I don't know.
They are
Jack is raising his hand.
Oh yeah, go
Well,
for it,
I
Jack.
actually, I listened to your first podcast, the last interview, and I sent Tom this thing that I saw a documentary on. It's this group of people called the Wrecking Crew, and they were the musicians. I have a list of what they did, but they did the recording for a whole bunch of 60s artists and some 70s artists, but they recorded all the instruments for Beach Boys, the Monkees, Simon and Garfunkel a lot, the Byrds, some Elvis. It's a crazy list, and they're all just normal, regular people, but they're just these fantastic musicians who never really got a lot of recognition because their music is a different band's music that's released under their name, you know?
Right, yeah. It's just slight credits which might appear like on the folds of the albums, but like not mainstream. And it's I really want to watch the documentary about the Wrecking Crew, but that's very cool that you like. Have you seen the doc, Jack, or
I saw it a long time ago? Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, there's lots of session. So I read that just getting into some of the history, I guess now, I'll probably edit it around later, but like some of the session, there were more session musicians on this album than their previous two albums, which were Wild Honey and Smiley Smile. But this record doesn't have more session musicians that like during their typical like Beach Boys era, which was like 62 to 65ish, I think, like Pet Sounds, because that's like anything up to Beach Boys today, which was our first episode, like tons of session musicians. There's lots of stuff going on, but yeah, they did also play there. Like Dennis was their drummer, Brian was their bassist. Like they had their parts, kind of similar to the Beatles, but they did also have a lot of orchestral stuff and guest guitarists, guest drummers sometimes. I read like some names on this record. Also, interestingly, just to like drop in, Jim Gordon plays drums, as well as Murray Wilson, their dad, their abusive dad, comes back to sing on
what
track Here in the Morning. So
why though?
Is there? Do you know the story with that? Why that happened?
They fired him as their manager, as we found out last time.
Wait, so the abusive dad, is it Daddy Wilson? Like, is it Brian and Dennis's dad, or
he's Brian.
Are they brothers? I'm assuming because they have the same like last name.
Yeah, the Wilsons are all brothers. Mike Love is their cousin, and Al Hardin was a friend, I think.
Oh, so they're family. Like, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah,
except Mike Love always looks like old AF next to him for some reason. Like whenever I see their album, like, or their pictures, it's like a bunch of children and then Mike Love, who looks like a 40-year-old man.
Isn't it crazy how like Brian, like, I want to say Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, maybe Bruce, Jack, I'm not sure. They're all kind of around the same age. They're all like about 80 now. And they're all like, maybe 1, 2, 3 years from each other. I'm not sure about Bruce, but
Bruce is younger. Similar. Well, he was 25 and 75, I think, something like that. So he's like the Beatles and Beach Boys started a lot earlier than he did. He got his big break in the mid 70s. So
right, yeah. And this is like, in terms of the Beach Boys, like 68, it's like turning into the 70s, which is a whole different era. Stuff that I really like that we're going to talk about over the course of this show. But not stuff at all that they're known for. Like they're known for the 60s pop, the Pet Sounds, but there's a whole decade after that kind of got forgotten. And that's kind of where they showed that they were just as good as the Beatles production wise, and like had, maybe not as great as memorable songs, and they weren't as successful.
Are you talking about Kokomo? Because I swear to God, I will not take any more slander from you on Kokomo.
Okay. I think I'm having a change of heart. Okay. I've had arguments with Jenny about Kokomo, but yeah,
are you against Kokomo?
I used to be against it, but I'm starting to like it a little bit more. I don't know.
Is that an album or a band, or
it's a song?
It's a song.
We'll send it to you. It's a very like travel-y kind of song because they're just listing places.
Yeah.
You've definitely heard it before.
Though. It's so good. Ugh.
It's a very Beach Boys song, but also
I feel like all Beach Boys music, from what I've heard, is very like vacation-y, summer. I guess it's Beach Boys, so yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But Kokomo is next level. You have to listen to the Kokomo Philharmonic version. It's really silly, actually. They got chimes and stuff. It's good.
What record was that on? Because I don't even know. I'm not.
It's on the Philharmonic thing. I don't know.
It might be an 80s one.
It is 80s. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, they were still a band in the 80s?
Yeah, they got kind of goofy.
They were around for a long time. That's actually, my uncle saw them in, I want to say 85 or 86. And
yeah, Lydia literally saw them like a year ago.
Yeah.
At the fair.
John Stamos. Oh yeah, John
was
Stamos
with them in the 80s when they played, which is the weirdest thing. Like, he's been with them, so we need to figure out what his situation is.
Yeah. Or maybe not. Maybe he's just a mystery forever.
Yeah, but there's so much because they were around. They were making albums much longer than the Beatles. And yeah,
like before or
like after, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, before, probably around the same time, I would say. I can't remember. I think Beatles were like a year or two before. With Please Please Me. I don't know what year it was. It might have been 62. But anyways, friends. We're here with our friends. We're gonna get into it. Let's talk about the songs. Track list. We got side 1. Oh, also, just another preface. This album is 25 minutes long. That's like
it's really short. Yeah. Like a lot of the songs are like less than 2 minutes or less than 3 minutes at least.
Yeah, and I wanted a lot of them to be longer. Particularly this first track, Meant for You, which is 38 seconds.
Are like interludes, or they feel like interludes at least.
Yeah. That's my only note for the first track. It's like, wow, what a great tone setter. I want this to be longer. Like, it could be a whole song, but it's just instead a singular harmony.
Yeah.
It does operate as like a tone setter in the fact that it is so short, I think, though, because like what 5 tracks are less than 2 minutes on this.
Maybe it's as long as it needs to be.
That's exactly what I wrote down in my little notes about it. And there were like 1 or 2 more where I said, I like the vibe of this, could have used more vocals or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think now it's so interesting in my research because when I listen to it, I'm like, where is Brian? Because I don't hear his like high Brian voice as much as Pet sounds. But he's all over it, apparently. Like, in terms of the history, like, he considers this his second solo album, which is crazy, like, considering the whole Smile stuff. Smile was supposed to be the follow-up to Pet Sounds, and it never happened. It turned into Smiley Smile, which had good vibrations and, like, hits, but it wasn't. It would have proved, like, huge, like, music status. But anyway.
So Brian is the lead singer, right?
One of them, yeah. They kind of all they're kind of all like singers. Like, they kind of share the lead part. It depends.
Yeah, they're kind of like, they operate kind of like a choir sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this track was probably one of my favorites.
Oh wow.
Because I don't know, I played it for the first time, and then it reminded me kind of about the sound of the zombies at first, kind of just like simple vocal over simple arrangement, and then it turned into like the like heroes and villains like weird like bubbly vocals, which I also really like. So yeah, and then I did look into if there was a longer version, and the original version was like longer than a minute. I think it was called something else, and it included like a verse about puppies. So
what?
When are they gonna drop that? Is my question.
I read that there was they dropped the demos for this album in 2018. I didn't have time to listen to them. Hopefully I will someday, but maybe that's where it is. I don't know.
Maybe I'll dig around.
Yeah, good track. Good track 1 right off the bat. Jenny's favorite track, perhaps.
Well, that's one of them.
One of them.
We haven't
Yeah,
gotten
when
to the others.
album for the first time, like I was like gonna heart all the ones, like my favorite ones, on Spotify, and then like it ended way before I could heart it. So I was
yes.
it should be way longer. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's so true. You don't even have time. The song's over before you can get to
Literally.
the library. Friends, track number 2, the title track.
Brian's favorite, allegedly.
Allegedly. Gotta have them. Gotta have friends.
That being said, I didn't really like it.
Wow. Hot take.
Sorry, guys.
It was fine. I thought it was sweet, and I wrote down one lyric that stuck out. I couldn't tell how I felt about it, but he said, "I talked your folks out of making you cut off your hair," because it started getting super. It started off a little more generic and just about having friends in general, and then it got super specific, and it was no longer.
That's the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
So it kind of took me out of it.
Just weirdness.
I think it's interesting because I feel like most bands in the 60s were making songs, like most of their songs were like sex and drugs, and then the Beach Boys are like, I love the beach, I love my friend and my wife and having a kid. Like
yeah. And especially like we'll get into when the track, when a man needs a woman, which, that's a crazy one. But I think as we get into the late 60s and the 70s, something I've heard come up again and again, like in Sunflower and Love You, which like followed up in the next few years. They're becoming fathers, and they're starting families, and all over this album I see family life, and I see like friends, and I see like relaxation, and not really the mundaneness of like everyday life, but just like the slice of life. It's just like so many of these tracks. What I like about this album is it's so concise, and it's just like such a like hot steamy day, like just sitting around doing nothing. Like
yeah, it feels like a young spiritual family man is telling you about like his daily life in sunny California. To me, that's
Yeah.
And I like
the Beach Boys is just like growing up with them through their little slices of life.
Yeah, seriously. And I think influences are very present on this record more so than any other, because finally it's like 1968, and a lot of other pop, Simon and Garfunkel, Crosby, Stills, Nash, kind of folky stuff is starting to get really popular, which I think is kind of heard in this record, as well as what's really cool, I think, is you can hear how some of this stuff went on to influence stuff. I don't know if anyone in here is like a Tyler the Creator fan, but the song
I love Tyler.
It reminded me of Are We Still Friends? Just like through the melody. I don't know if he had ever heard the song, but
yeah, I also wanted to point out that I feel like the Beach Boys and the Beatles, like they were like releasing albums that kind of like felt like a conversation between them, because like Beatles released Rubber Soul, and then they were like Beach Boys reply with Pet Sounds, and then I think Beatles reply with Sergeant Pepper, and then like this one feels, I mean, to me, I feel like it feels very Sergeant Pepper vibes. Like I don't know if they like I don't think I read that they were like that they explicitly said that they were influenced by like Sergeant Pepper, but like it definitely like feels like that, you know?
they definitely
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I heard the tuba in Wake the World.
That was literally in my notes. Like,
wow.
Wake the World got the Beatles fans awoken with
That's
the
a good transition into Wake the World track 3, a minute 28 seconds.
This one I wrote, I just said I would take a morning walk with this song playing in my earbuds. Just a good kind of soft vibe. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's very
Lovely
feel good,
morning.
very lilting.
Yeah.
and it's very. I wrote down when I'm 64 as a note, so that's what it reminded me of. Not a fan of the really abrupt fade out of the song. I feel like this album there are a lot of like really abrupt fade outs at the end of songs. They don't really conclude. They just kind of like that's it.
Yeah, I think I think so. It's a good track. It definitely gets cut off, but yeah, I think Wake the World was it's a very good morning tune. I similarly to Jack would play it in the morning.
Yeah, I feel like the album is very much a morning album that you will play like getting ready or like making breakfast or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
especially at the beach.
Yes.
The beach.
Always at the beach.
Any of these tunes.
Oh my god, a dog. Sorry.
Whoa.
What? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I had to mute myself because like there was this dog slobbering all over me, but it's fine now.
Get that dog back in the pod. Get that dog back.
Get that dog on the mic.
Here he is again.
Oh my god.
Hi. Sorry for.
Hello. Is that Laura? Oh my god.
Oh no. Alanis has been attacked.
No, that is not Laura. It's actually my aunt.
Oh my god. Auntie Bonia. Hello.
Hi.
Oh my god. Sorry.
And this is why you have to watch the extended version on YouTube.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Wow. I think like track 4, "Be Here in the Morning," is like a great paired, like it kind of goes with the last song because it's a follow-up. I think of it as like the afternoon and evening. Even though it's about be here in the morning, the lyrics are like talking about like how the rest of the day went. And so I kind of think of it as all one day. Like that track 3, Wake the World, is like waking up in the morning, you're getting off. And then track 4 is be here in the morning.
There was one part I was really into the vibe and the melody of this one, and then kind of in the middle-ish, a little more past that, it gets really slow and really quiet, and it just completely changes the song. And I thought it was a different song at first, and then it comes back to the regular part of this, so it just kind of interrupted what it had going for it.
It bugged your vibe.
It bugged my vibe very much.
It also bugged my vibe a little bit. I was really digging it at first because I was like, okay, vocals, and then I think there was like some kazoos happening, the voice effects, and then got a little weird, and then it got like kind of eerie at some parts. Like I don't know, like when those parts happen with the melody and like the vocals, it got really kind of scary. And in my mind, I was imagining like a Jack Stopper stop motion animation short. And then it gets like all Hawaiian at the end again, and then reminds me where it started. So now I'm just like disgruntled. Like,
yeah,
God.
This is the first track that I really like, kind of liked, like for its feel, I guess. But yeah, I liked it as a follow-up track, like paired with the other one, like trying to think of it as a whole. But yeah, I do agree with these faults that are present.
Yeah, I feel like even I do agree that it's like that it like kind of meshes with the previous song, but I feel like the whole album kind of feels like it's a non-stop song. Like if you listen, like it's just that cohesive. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's so short and it just keeps going. And then we get to 5, When a Man Needs a Woman. Crazy.
Wait, one last thing I want to say about Be Here in the Morning is that I like that it's like even though this whole album is kind of like, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but the whole album is kind of like wholesome American family propaganda, but like not in a bad way, like in a cute way, I guess.
In a camp way.
Yeah, you can still tell that there's like in their hippie era because they mention a shit ton of like meditation things. Like in the Be Here in the Morning, I think they say something about like I light up my incense, and it's like, and then like I don't know. It's just
wish
really.
you were home. Yeah.
It's funny.
It's so hippie. Yeah. No, I felt that too. Good point.
Anyways, when a man needs a woman.
Yeah, back to the family.
Yeah. With this,
I think I just like accidentally referenced like probably a conservative whatever.
anyways, I wrote, okay, so this song, looking at the lyrics, I was reminded of this TikTok I saw a long time ago where there was this musician and he was showing before and after he had a kid how his music had changed. And before he was trying to be a lot more poetic, existential, big ideas, like every lyric had to mean something. And then after he had a baby, it was like talking about Mr. Alligator and Mrs. Giraffe and just super simple things. And it was about just showing how when you are starting a family and have a new kid, it changes the way you see things because they are seeing things for the first time in a very simple way, and the parents it rubs off on them. So his writing just became about seeing very simple, playful, joyful things, and I think that kind of shows in this where the lyrics are super simple, just like family of 3, wait 9 months for a bundle of joy. There's a baby about to be born. Like it feels like he's already in that mindset of how the kid will impact him.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I like this song a lot. It's so like it's goofy, but it works. Like it's like the organ that just like lingers right after.
I love the organ.
Like right after when a man needs a woman, they make things like "You, my son," which is like such a funny way. Like it's just like what we were saying last time. Like it's like this is not how I would think about ever wording anything. Like especially when like this is the reason for babies. It's because a man needs a woman, and so that's why babies are like.
Yeah, I kind of not just as like a like song for his son, but I also saw it like as a love song. Like it feels like it's something that he would be saying to his baby, but he's actually saying it so that his wife hears it and is like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't
know.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, connecting back to our last episode when we talked about how he had a thing for the sisters. Yeah, he was married to Marilyn. This is actually related to his pregnancy, or Marilyn's pregnancy. And they actually ended up with a daughter. So clearly he was expecting a son in this song. But sweet nonetheless.
Daughter.
Yeah, but just continuing the storyline of their relationship, this is when they are pregnant and waiting for child.
In our speculation, it was awkward. Anything else on this track, or should we move on? Okay.
I'm good to go.
Passing By. Track number 6 is Passing By.
This song is literally just vibes.
Just instrumental track.
Yeah.
I said could have used some more vocals or just some doo-woppy sort of things. Yeah, could have benefited from that.
On Spotify, if you listen to like on Spotify, you can see the lyrics, and for some reason, it does have lyrics, even though like you can't hear them. Like
it has the lyrics for Annalie, I think. I was just looking at it too. It was like
I'm dumb.
No, it's because I noticed it too. I was like, what? Because I thought it was an instrumental. I think it's a typo in their
in the code.
Yeah. But all I wrote was vibes also. And like yeah, I don't know. It's funny that this track is longer than just about all of the other tracks with words, except for Friends. Yeah. That's great.
I think I will have to disagree with your side on the vocals, though, Jack, because I was very pleased with how the vocals didn't distract from the instruments or the arrangement. I like how integral like instrumentals tracks are to the Beach Boys discography, so I like that they let the instruments speak and how the vocal is just kind of like a compliment to that this time. Because I feel like sometimes I get a little tired of their choir harmonies where it's just like a brick of vocals kind of like accenting every line.
Yeah.
So
They
I like
only
it
have so
when their
many-
other facets are showed off a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they only have so many like background sounds, like during like they got the bops, they got the
Yeah.
doos, the ahs, the oohs, and
Mhm.
maybe a few others. They have a lot. Okay, I love their backup vocals. It is interesting that there's a couple instrumental tracks on this record, especially for how short it is. Like the fact that they fit all this on is pretty marvelous to me. And then going into side 2, we have the first track, Annalie the Healer, or is it Annalie? I think it might be Annalie.
This one was my favorite musically. Sure.
So cool.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm not gonna lie though, I did think it was about a prostitute, but I read actually like one of them, I'm not sure which one, went to Rishikesh at the same time as the Beatles, I think, and he was massaged by a masseuse called Annalie, and then that's the healer. So it's not about a prostitute.
Yes.
Yeah, another Beatles. I was reading like the Reddit, Beach Boys Reddit, and they were comparing it to the Beatles song Doc Robert on Revolver, which apparently has a bunch of sexual innuendos I never noticed. I also didn't notice on this song, so maybe I'm just like a little boy. But
no, I
that was
think
like the first thing I was thinking about when I heard these lyrics, man.
I didn't think about that, but I was reminded of a different song. I thought of The Mighty Quinn by Manfred Mann. That song we're talking about, this Eskimo, just because they're talking about this very specific faraway character. So I didn't think of any sexual things. I just thought of this character that the writers encounter and they want to share that story.
Yeah, that's cool. I never heard that song.
Yeah.
Dylan,
I feel like the Beach Boys, like, they don't really allude too much. Like, they literally just like say what's going on. It's very, their songs are very like straightforward storytelling. Sometimes that translates into really blunt and oddly profound statements in the middle of like fluff. But yeah, I just think it's a Beach Boys specialty to just say words that actually mean what they mean.
So true.
Yeah, there was not a lot of analyzing to be done in most of these songs. Like they just say things as they are. Like I definitely overthought the whole Annalie thing. But yeah.
Yeah. But cool track. Definitely. Also, like starts side 2 great. And I will say I prefer side 2 and I love side 2, like pretty much like every track on side 2. Little Bird is track 2. This is a song that Dennis wrote. And also what I mentioned.
This is awkward now because I said Little Bird was my least favorite on the whole album.
Oh, no. Okay, wait. What? I literally like re-listened to the song over and over again for like 5 times, and I could not for the life of me come up with something to say about it.
Literally all I wrote was kind of my least favorite, and that was the only note I put for it.
My only note is that I read that it's spiritual, supposedly.
My note is that it sounds like I should like it because it's very groovy and then kind of ends on like a bluegrassy note, but I don't really like it, which is weird. So
I guess I'm the odd one out. That's okay.
Someone has to like it.
Songwriting, it's not. I guess it's not as interesting. It's about a bird that looked up at Dennis, supposedly, while the bird was singing, and it was very profound. But I like the structure of it musically. It goes somewhere. It's not just. I feel like some of the other tracks on also. Side note, just we have a minute left and then it's gonna kick us out, but I'll get a new link for everyone. For our last 20 minutes until Jack has to go. But Anyways, I'm talking till it cuts us off. But I feel like the chorus, with when the horns kick in, is very triumphant, and it reminds me of a Chicago song, which I thought about how special it is because Chicago's first record was 69 or 70. So this probably influenced them, but it totally sounds like a Chicago song. And I know there's a relationship there too because Brian Wilson has toured with Chicago in recent years. So I don't know if
Oh wait,
like
whoa. I just realized one of my sister's friends' dads plays in Chicago.
What? Jenny, you're connected.
Well,
I
connections.
didn't. I literally don't like. I learned this literally yesterday because my dad was talking about it.
Hello.
Hello.
We've lost our friends.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry it does that. I need to upgrade Zoom, but it makes you pay for it.
Yeah, don't do that.
But they'll get on soon. I just sent Jenny the link, so now Jenny's probably sending it to her. So how do you feel? You're going back to Europe?
Yeah, but it's so different this time because now I'm a TA. I'm working there.
Yeah. Are you getting paid?
No, but I'm getting free housing and free food, so it all evens out. So I'm like living for free for a month, basically.
That's great. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. And we're back.
We're back.
All right, that was a really unfortunate time to get cut off.
Yeah,
but
it's okay. I had to pee really bad, so.
Oh, I see.
No, but it actually did. Like, I didn't just end the meeting. Like, it really did cut us off. It was just convenient for my pee.
Yes.
Anyways.
But anyways,
I'm glad.
I found out because my sister saw the Driver Era at the Greek Theater like a couple nights ago, and then
who's she seeing now?
Who's she seeing now?
Yeah, didn't you say you have to drive your sister to a concert?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. She's like always at concerts. She's like, it's like a bunch of high school bands in LA.
Oh.
But yeah, she saw the Driver Era at the Greek Theater, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, Gabby's dad played at the Greek Theater once," and then my dad was like, "Oh, Chicago, yeah," and then he always makes sure to say that he's not really a big fan of their stuff. I'm like, okay, we get it, but he's like, "Yeah, no, it's great that they're doing that though."
Yeah, Chicago, you know, they're all right. They've got some great songs in my opinion, but you know, I don't know them that well. I hope they're from Chicago. I don't know.
That'd be awkward if they weren't.
It's short for Chicago Transit Authority. So, yeah, I'm guessing they're all from my area. Yeah, but Little Bird, I guess I'll be the only advocate for it. Definitely check it out.
I think I just remembered, I think I thought when I read the lyrics, like, this is kind of giving Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. And that brings an interesting discussion because I'm wondering, did you guys grow up like when you went to the beach? Was your beach music the Beach Boys, or like what did you guys play? Because at least for me, my parents would always play Bob Marley when we were at the beach. Like that was the designated singer.
We were a Beach Boys family.
Okay.
Yeah.
The beach. I didn't go to the beach a lot because I mean the closest beach is like Lake Michigan, which is
Wait, where are you from?
Like Chicago suburbs.
Oh, okay.
But
like the band,
like the Chicago Transit Authority. But great beaches. I will say, yeah, I don't know, stuff like that. Maybe sometimes the Beatles. Definitely road trips. Like we'd listen to that kind of stuff. Yeah, or whatever was on my iPod when I was little. Yeah. What about you, Jenny? You're definitely went to the beach.
It was definitely Kokomo on repeat every single time. No,
Kokomo's gonna be the new meme for this.
No, it's a very serious song though. No laughing matter. I'm very passionate about
has to listen and then.
But no, we didn't really listen to music on the beach that much. We were more of a Beatles road trip family. But the reason why I am so well acquainted with Kokomo is because it was one of the only songs on my Kindle Fire for some reason. So it was like the only. It was that and "Devil in Disguise" by Elvis.
You can listen to music on a Kindle.
Kindle Fire.
Yeah, I did too. I listened to Bob Marley on my Kindle.
But yeah,
Crazy.
and I played Puss in Boots Fruit Ninja. So.
Oh yeah, me too. And Temple Run.
I played Disney Pixar Brave Temple Run. So.
Whoa! Did you shoot arrows in that version?
Yeah, actually did.
That's cool. Anyways, oh yeah, and one more thing about Little Bird. As I mentioned, it is Dennis's song. This is the first Beach Boys song that features Dennis as a solo writer. Or first album to have a song by Dennis solely. But on 2020, the next album, which actually featured, at least for its US release, a song that was on this album for its Europe release. I forget what song it was, because I didn't write it down. But anyways, Dennis at this time started hanging out with Charles Manson. And
yes,
they were buds. And Charles Manson wrote a song that's on 2020. So I don't know if there's any Manson influence on this track either. I would be surprised. But
wait, on which track?
Little Bird, because it's a Dennis song. And Dennis was famously was friends with Charles Manson.
Yeah. Didn't he like live at the little thing they had, little family collection thingy they had
Possibly
for a certain amount of time?
Yeah, he might have. I mean, he was definitely over there. Creepy.
Weird.
Yeah. And then we go into the third track, Be Still, 1:22. This is a very cool, slowed down, synthy. I mean, it might not be a synth. It might just be a mellotron or like a keyboard, but just very scaled down musically, which I like. It's kind of like a mantra, like a meditation is present on this record.
I literally wrote down that same thing. Like I wrote down that I felt that the song felt like a mantra or like a self-affirmation kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wait, like
totally. Yeah, I think it's exactly that. I mean, any other thoughts, guys?
I love the keyboard or whatever that was, sounded like a really soft organ. And I couldn't find much about it online, which at first kind of frustrated me because I was really liking what I was hearing, but that kind of added to how endearing I found it. So yeah, I don't know. I just found it, I don't know, it's very comforting, very soft, comfortable song. And this time I think the fade out is acceptable and appropriate, and it didn't catch me off guard. So
do you generally like fade outs or do you not like them?
I do like them. I just found it a little awkward on some of these tracks because it'd be like starting a new verse and it'd like drop off the side of a cliff. So
true.
That's just how I felt though.
That's how it was sometimes.
Maybe I was just too into it. I was just too into the groove and I wasn't ready to stop.
I want to be conscious of the last 10 minutes we have with Jack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jack, maybe there's 3 more songs, so maybe. Oh, it looks like we lost
Alanis.
No.
No.
I'll contact her.
Talk us through maybe your notes. Let me know if you need the link again, Jenny. But Jack, talk us through your notes of these last 3 tracks, and then I can like figure out the placement, and then give us your rating out of 10 scarves.
Okay. I didn't write a whole lot for these last few songs. Busy Doing Nothing, dug the melody. I liked how casual the lyrics were, made it kind of fun. So I enjoyed that one. Diamond Head, I wrote that weird instrumental one with a lot of noises. Clearly, I wasn't a huge fan of that one.
That was my favorite track.
What?
Oh, really?
Jenny, you're crazy.
I'm crazy.
Yeah. And I hope, I feel like I'm just, so Tom said he likes the B-side better, but clearly I like the first side better because this last one, I just wrote not into it, transcendental meditation. I wish that you asked me about the beginning tracks instead of these last few for me to go.
Okay, we'll go back to those then if you want.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying. It didn't end strongly to me. I don't think it started off a lot better than it ended. The whole album.
Agreed.
And do you have an overall scarf rating?
Out of 10 scarves, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, I would have given it like a 6 or 7, and then when I finished it, maybe a 5 scarves. I don't know if that's super low, if that's
okay.
acceptable.
Yeah, that's acceptable.
Jenny doesn't look happy with it.
No.
Oh,
I could never be so low.
Are we discussing the rating of the whole album now?
Yeah, we just jumped ahead because Jack has to leave in like a few minutes. But
just to what's the word? I don't know. I was like going down through an elevator because my mom is like stuck outside of this like building that we're staying at, so that's why I'm like here and there in that like
I'm so sorry.
You're good. Do what you need to do.
Yeah, do what you
Save
have
your
to
mom.
do. It's okay.
Yeah.
Take a break.
No, but I'm still listening. It's just that some like my mom is like, yeah. Anyways,
if your mom is trapped, you need to help.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
But yeah, I just admire your boldness because even if I did think something was bad, I don't think I could. I don't know. My goal is to get to the point where I could be so honest with myself that I could give something like an honest score like that.
No, Jack's a good critic. Okay, like
I feel like I cushion my thoughts too much. Yeah.
I wish, okay, because I like the Beach Boys, and I didn't know this album before, like I said, so I was going into it maybe with really high hopes, and I think it's a fine album, and that didn't quite reach the high hopes that I had, so it kind of, so 5's right in the middle, I think. Yeah, no, I can't really say much more about it. I thought it was fine. Didn't love any songs a whole lot, but I casually enjoyed most of them.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah, I kind of maybe expected you, not to say that I over speculated like what you guys would be thinking for these songs, but just knowing you like well, since you're my friend, I would say, yeah, like I was unsure at first about like giving like doing this record to have you guys as guests, but then it was Jenny who like was like, you were talking about Alanis and you were like, well, I think Alanis would be down to like try listening to something experimental. And I was like, you know what? Jack being my friend, I think would also be down to do that because that is what we do. We do like experimental stuff sometimes, or I make you like engage in experimental stuff. You might not always otherwise listen or watch, but yeah, I'm glad that there were some, hopefully like maybe 1 or 2 tracks that you saved out of the whole thing.
Well, okay, I'll say this. I enjoyed the whole process of being given this album to listen to, going through it, and then coming to the podcast and talking about it. So as a process, this was I love this more than the album itself.
Yay, friends!
That's good. That's good. I'm so glad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad. Well, yeah, that's cool. So we can go back into like the Be Still and Onward, and then Jack whenever you need to.
Yeah, I should head out now.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm really glad we did this, guys.
Yes, thank you for doing this.
Jack.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
This is fun.
I wish you the best of luck on your trip back to Europe.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back in the US, Tom.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
And now there's only 3 of us, friends.
Only 3 friends.
Is everything all good, Alanis?
Yeah. I did open the door for my mom. I just like ran up 6 flights of stairs, and I don't know. She's off at the stairs. I don't know. Anyways.
You must be out of breath. This is the most eventful podcast we'll probably ever have.
Yeah. Always an adventure.
Yeah.
Up here.
Yeah. No, but I'm here now. I'm here. So what song are we on?
Well, just wrapping up. I mean, there's not too much to say about Be Still, but what I will say is during the break, I actually grabbed a record that I love and put it up. It's Nilsson Schmilsson by Harry Nilsson. And that's one other, he, I think, was, starting out in the late 60s, but that record is definitely like 70s, I think at least 73. But this record also feels very Nilsson to me because it's kind of slice of life, keyboard heavy, vocal heavy, because it's a Beach Boys album. And that's something I really love. Harry Nilsson. That album, Nilsson Schmilsson. Also, he has a concept album called, I think it's called The Point, where it's about a character who has a pointed, or no, everyone in the world has a pointed head, but he has a rounded head. But it's about what's the point of it all? It's really clever.
Wait, who sings that album?
Harry Nilsson.
That's interesting.
I'll send it to you
The whole concept of the album is that everyone has pointy heads.
So he has a pointed head, and everyone else in the world has a rounded head, I think. And he's like an outcast because of it, and he's bullied. But yeah, it's great. I'll send it. But yeah, it's very I don't know. It feels kind of the same to me. I don't know if anyone else will get that, but yeah. Yeah, so the next track is Busy Doing Nothing. This is my favorite track.
I like it.
One of my favorites.
It's very mundane. It's very day in the life and not in a Beatles way, because the Beatles' Day in the Life song is not
nightmares.
Mundane at all. Yeah, literally. But this one, it's just it's giving Sunday morning boredom, kind of.
Yes.
Actually, bringing back to what you said about Tyler the Creator earlier, I feel like Tyler the Creator, I mean, I don't know if he listens to the Beach Boys, but I can definitely see influences of this album on Flower Boy, just because I don't know, it's very this album is very flowery summer. I don't know.
Yeah. This track too, it's it has this the instruments in this track is so mesmerizing to me because the guitar is so the sound of the way the guitar was recorded sounds I don't know, it was just captured so well, and it's it feels like it was not hard to do, but captured in such a way that I don't know, it's really hard to put into words, but from the start of the track, I'm just in it, and it's a lot of it is the instruments, and then the way that vocally they explain how nothing is going on in this day, and it's just so relatable to me. Maybe it's because I have a lot of days like this, but also just the sense of how the hook of the song, the chorus, is giving directions to his house.
Oh yeah, I read that that's the real direction to his house. Obviously, he doesn't say the name of the street, but that's supposedly how you get to his actual house. I just thought that was interesting.
And I started way over analyzing this track, but I was kind of trying to read into the lyrics, because I almost think of it as it's non-linear, the way that the story's being told. I watched there's a YouTube video about the same theory for All Along the Watchtower, how the last verse should really be chronologically the first. I almost think it's that way with this song, because he ends the song with saying lately I've been thinking about a good friend I'd like to see more of. I think I'll make a call. And then the last hook is picking the number out of the pocket and or no, like you don't have the number, and then he thinks of it, and finally it comes to him, and then he I guess he doesn't get an. I never got this in the song. Okay, my theory is spoiled. So he
Just
hangs
like
up
that.
the phone, and then he gets paper and pencil to write a letter to his friend. But I feel like the letter that he's writing to his friend is the song, or the call that he would have made to the friend is the song. So like, it's kind of like a looping thing, if that makes sense, or like where it starts is where it ends. I just like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I read.
I think that.
No, you go. Okay, I'll say what I was gonna say. It's like really short. I read that this is the one that they had session musicians for.
Oh yeah, the Wrecking Crew. Yeah, I did read that one as well. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah,
and their dad. Oh wait, no, that's a different song.
No, the abusive dad one was the kind of creepy one. Yeah.
The abusive dad thing should like become a running joke on this podcast. When I heard the first episode, like the abusive dad thing, like made me cackle like, for some reason. Anyways, Jenny, back to you.
So the looping nature of this of busy doing nothing that you were talking about, Tom. I was just thinking how that lends itself to the doing nothingness of this song, because everything kind of blurs together sonically. And like you, I was also hooked from the introductory instrumental, because it kind of, the feeling it gave me was nostalgia more than anything, because it kind of reminded me of like Schoolhouse Rock songs. It was just like fuzzy, like bossa nova fantasy moment, which I think is the perfect ambiance or sound waves to be doing nothing to. So I think this song is just very self-aware in that aspect. And it's very satisfying.
Okay. Yeah, great. Next track is the other instrumental, Diamond Head. I wrote down, I don't know if this means anything to you guys, but I wrote down Pee-wee's Playhouse. It reminds me of the outro to that show, the Pee-wee show, because there's like weird, like, I don't know. Oh no, I'm not even thinking of the right show. Maybe that show has similar things, but I think I'm thinking of Yo Gabba Gabba now. Very different. But yeah, one of those two shows, maybe both.
I wrote down that it's giving pure beach vibes, Pacific Ocean, West Coast Hawaiian shirt vibes.
Yes. I really liked it, just because I don't know, it's like, it's just so good, so lazy Sunday. I said it's so, the sun just set, so your sunburn is being cooled down by the sand. So elevated SpongeBob. Very, very immersive with the nature sounds. So I was living the fantasy.
It feels like you're like at the water park and you're at the lazy river, like specifically the lazy river at the water park.
Yes. Yeah. I don't mean to, I know I kind of like jumped at it when you said this is your favorite earlier, but I actually like that a lot now. Like I've been thinking about it, and like I feel like tracks like from last episode to now, like tracks that I didn't notice, like you noticed more, and I think that's like a really cool balance, like for just to like have between the two of us.
Yeah. And like you like Little Bird and nobody else does. We're all a great fit here.
Yeah. We're just polar opposites.
No, but yeah, I get what you're saying though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very harmonious.
Also, why is it called Diamond Head? Is it like a reference to the rattlesnake, or?
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't even think about that. to be honest.
I don't know. Or maybe that's not. It's some kind of snake.
Maybe they were just tripping. Maybe they were
probably. I think you're onto something.
Were they tripping? Like, were the Beach Boys drug people?
I mean, if they were getting into transcendental meditation and lighting incense.
At least the weed. Like, at least the weed.
The cover of this album.
For
yeah,
sure.
I think they were definitely doing psychedelics. It's 68. It's like the height of that kind of revolutionary stuff.
True, but they're also talking about like having children. So like, I mean, I guess that doesn't really matter. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of them, so they might be experimenting with different things.
Yeah.
Dennis, I know for a fact, he was hanging out with Manson. He was always known.
Yeah, one of them was in a cult, so I don't know if we can use the family thing.
Well, he was always known to have lived the life that Brian wrote about. So all the surfing, like he did, like people joke about how the Beach Boys weren't really surfers, but Brian really was kind of like, I mean, he was the one who started doing drugs, but he had a lot of things going on in his personal life that like he needed different things to cope with, and that's kind of why he says like there wouldn't be a Pet Sounds without marijuana. So
yeah, and I remember my favorite track on the last album was the first track Brian wrote under the influence of weed. So
yes, exactly. It's all coming together. And that's maybe a good transition to the last track, Transcendental Meditation. Another track that I really liked.
Really? Yeah, and they're doing the opposite thing again because
I've been singing it all week long. I was singing it at camp today, and everyone was like, "What?"
It's so silly. It's really silly, and like it's even so like I don't know, because I feel like they're so direct with everything that even with meditation they have to like explicitly say transcendental meditation like repeatedly, which is like I don't know, like I feel
just
like
to remind you.
Yeah, exactly.
In case you forgot.
Literally.
And it goes back, this is a track that's directly inspired by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And
yeah, which I was gonna mention. I think they went on tour with him, and then it was like
they flopped.
Fail. So like they had to like cancel the rest of it.
Mm-hmm. They That's had, crazy. I think, 5 shows. They scheduled a national tour with Maharishi, and because of low ticket sales, it was canceled after those shows. Unfortunately, because people weren't digging it, I guess. But they clearly subscribe to this ideology, and it shows in this song. That
wait, so what did the Maharishi even do like on the tour? Like he wasn't a musician, was he? Did he just like go in?
I think he was leading meditations and like also just maybe doing sermons and like talking, but
the opener is a sermon.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember it's the last or not, but it's the same thing. Like Ravi Shankar like played like the concert for Bangladesh that George Harrison did. Like they opened with the sitar, like with Ravi Shankar, who's like unbelievable and like stuff that's so cool. And in theory, like hippies should gravitate towards this stuff, but sometimes it just turns out to be the musicians that really care about, like, I don't know, the different philosophies that aren't just Western, or in the Beatles case, just English. Like they were really into it, like all of a sudden. Even though, interestingly enough, not to make this a Beatles show, but Jenny and I watched Help, and it's like cultural appropriated to the max.
Jenny and I have talked about this.
Yeah. They literally switch so fast. First they're mocking them, like, and then they're literal India boos like for the rest of their career.
Like it was like a year before they went to India or something, which is so insane.
That's so embarrassing for them. Like imagine showing up to India like with a serious face after making that.
But it's also like not just. It's barely cultural appropriation because it's like so many different.
It's not even a culture.
It's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Also,
even use like actually Indian actors. Like it was just all white people in like
all English, yeah,
absurd costumes that did not resemble any culture. Like,
which is probably common
inconsistent costumes, makeup, accents, storyline. It was just all over the place. They just wanted to do something crazy.
But I bring it up because George put on the concert for Bangladesh, which went on to make a huge difference for that conflict in that time, and raise a lot of money and was really good. But they opened with Ravi Shankar, and it was just like like they had to tell the fans. They were like, or no, George had to tell the fans. He was like, you're gonna hear all this stuff that you came here for, but just, or no, I think it was Ravi at the beginning who said, you're gonna hear all the cool rock groups that you came here to see, but first be patient and listen to this. And like, you know, I'm sure everyone was. They didn't have cell phones, or maybe some of them went to go get hot dogs. I don't know, but like, it's clear to me that like George definitely really there was some kind of switch, or maybe not even a switch, but really cared about like that whole style of music and spirituality and the transcendental meditation. Yeah, I think the Beach Boys cared about it too. I don't know how much of them went on to practice it, but I like that song maybe because of its silliness and goofiness, just in the melody, not in like the lyrics, but even maybe in the lyrics too, I guess. Just how it turns into can emancipate the man and get you feeling grand.
I just wish the instrumental was a little more like spiritual feeling. Like I don't know. I saw the title and then I was kind of underwhelmed by the sound of it, personally. But also maybe it's because I was comparing it to the Mamas and the Papas track, Meditation Mama, Transcendental Woman Travels. Great track, and that is my Mamas and Papas mention of the episode.
Wow. Okay. This is slowly turning into Mamas and Papas show as well.
You figured me out.
I like it. I like the infiltration of Beatles on the right and Mamas and Papas on the other side.
Yeah, it's not a bad pickle to be in.
Yes. Speaking of the Beatles again, I feel like Transcendental Meditation, I don't know why, like it gave me Honey Pie vibes. Like, wait, is it called Honey Pie? I think it is on the White Album. It's giving that one. Like, I don't know, like it's like the Muppety vocals about it, and then like the repetition was kind of giving that. I don't know. Maybe it's
Have you listened to Wild Honey Pie?
That's the one I mean. That's fine. Yeah.
The one where they play with they're like wild honey.
Yeah. I think Honey Pie is another song. I meant that one.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. It's been too long.
But it's definitely a slap to the face when it comes on your shuffle.
A slap to the face. Okay, that's what I like to hear. Wow. So just like that, we're done talking through this album. And I didn't have many other points. I know I said I would talk through the history later, but interestingly enough, we got through them just through conversation. Like the only other thing I had was that this is their, and maybe I mentioned it, but it's their lowest performance on the charts in the US. It sold very poorly. It peaked at 126. So it's not known as their most successful album financially, but
apparently like people say that it's one of their best ones. Like now in retrospect, a lot of fans call it the best one for some reason.
I think it's probably the most cohesive that we'll hear. I mean, today was a cool, today is very half and half. And it's very clearly literally planned out that way. That's what we discovered last week. But this one is short and concise, and it works.
It's interesting though, because with the whole tour flopping and the album kind of flopping too, apparently a lot of people were unstanding them because like they were too not experimental, I guess. Like some people were saying that they needed to get like more experimental, which is interesting because like usually people are like, this is too experimental for me, and then like they don't become like mainstream or something, you know?
Right. Yeah, you're hearing all kinds of things on both sides. It's like, this isn't experimental enough. Like, we got pet sounds, we got smiley smile, like we want more good vibration stuff. And then there's probably people that are like, they're selling out, like they're sounding like Crosby, Stills, Nash, and like whoever else was popular. But really, I think there's a lot of originality in this record. I don't know. What do you think, Jenny?
Yeah, I agree. I like Jack. I'd never listened to any of these tracks before, so it was a really cool learning experience. And right off the bat, first impressions, the album cover is probably my favorite out of all of their album covers. Like, I just love the art so much. Like, I don't know. If I was a musician, I would want my album cover to look exactly like that, like the bleeding, like watercolors and the yeah. It's amazing. And it's like you can tell that it's like physical, which is refreshing. But yeah, I liked it a lot. I honestly liked it better than today. So I kind of regret how high I made my score last time. Because I feel like I just like set the bar like at a weird place, but yeah, maybe I'll change my last score.
Speaking of cover, I literally read the whole like Wikipedia page on this album, and for the album cover part, apparently when the Beach Boys were in Rishikesh, Paul McCartney was like, y'all have to like put more like effort into your album covers because that's really they were
Damn.
like, shit.
Yeah, Pet Sounds.
They made that one. So
wow, yeah. Like if Pet Sounds had a cover like this, it'd probably be like a bestseller. Like, I mean, it is, but like when it first came out, like, I mean, we'll get to it.
Wait, is the Pet Sounds cover? Is it like them like petting goats, or am
yes.
I okay?
Yes, and
I think that's perfect, personally.
Well, yeah, I've grown to like it, but
it's not really an eye catcher.
It's famously hated on for that same reason, and I think Paul had totally had it right. But this is the follow up to Wild Honey, which is a great album, also in my opinion, and I think we'll have an episode about it later, much later on in the summer, hopefully. But that cover I was reading about this afternoon is taken from a picture of a stained glass window that was in Brian's studio. And I love that cover too. It's so cool.
Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, and that one has Darlin', one of my favorite Beach Boys tracks. That has nothing to do with this, but yeah.
Shall we rate?
Yes, let's rate. Who wants to go first? Jenny? Since you kind of almost just dropped it.
Okay, yeah, I almost dropped it, but it was premature. But now it's the time. Okay, my rating is it was originally okay. Let me change my last rating. My Beach Boys Scary rating is now a 6 scarves out of 10. This one was a 7 out of 10, but then I added a point for album cover art, so 8 scarves out of 10 is my final answer.
Wow, crazy. Okay. I guess I'll go next, and we'll leave the last scarf rating for Alanis. I actually have once again the same rating as you, Jenny. 8 scarves out of 10.
Dang.
Which to me seems very high. But here's why. Because and I'm not changing my today. My today rating is still 7 out of 10. And not to like just always be rating everything so high, but this is the kind of stuff that I like, I guess. And this record in particular, like I didn't have too many problems with. I mean, I guess it's not filled with hits and like catchy tunes per se, but I just like I I just feel like it's like a record that I would like, and I do like, and so because of that, I'm giving it 8 out of 10. And because the whole backside is so great and the front side is fine to me, and it goes by so fast, and I drive to work the past few days, like listening to it, and I can almost like hear the whole record by the time I get there, minus a few songs. Like, it's great.
Yes. Okay, Alanis, you have less than a minute.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Okay, y'all said 7 out of 10, right?
I said 8.
8.
8.
Okay, I'm gonna say 7 because I think I really liked. Like, I was gonna take off a few points because of shortness, but actually, Tom convinced me that the shortness is actually kind of like a positive thing because you can hear it like in shorter like amounts of time. I don't know, whatever. So yeah, 7 out of 10.
Welcome.
Third call. Dang.
Wow, setting a record.
You know, I assumed that this would just be longer because 4 people.
Yeah.
Tracks,
Which I'm not mad at, you know.
Yeah, it's fun.
And we're getting the hang of it. So we don't have to go the whole extra 30 minutes or whatever it is, but I just wanted to like have everyone's thoughts.
Yes. Where did I? Okay, yeah, 7 out of 10. I liked all the interludes were low key. I think like the instrumental ones were probably my favorites after Anna Lee the Healer. Anna Lee the Healer is top for me, and then like Passing By and the other instrumental one, and then all the other ones are like pretty much on the same level to me. Actually, no, I think the one about the really wholesome family one is cute. I like that one. What was it called? When a Man Needs a Woman. I also
Yeah.
I think there's like I feel like there's a lot to analyze about what the Beach Boys' Friends says about American society. I don't know.
Like, yes.
I don't know, but not
Alanis in her heteronormative analysis era.
Wrote that. I literally wrote that. Said like this album is really like heteronormative family propaganda, but like again, I have nothing against that. Like not. I mean, like not like I'm not promoting heteronormativity, but I'm saying that that the album being like, aha, I have a wife, then I have my son. Like that's not bad, but it is
that
like whatever. Like it's cheesy, but it's
tradition, yeah.
It's campy, traditional, whatever. And like they were doing something different because everyone else was like, I heart drugs, and they were like, I heart family life. I don't know.
Yeah.
Say it louder, Beach Boys. Family over drugs. For real.
The Family Boys.
Yeah. So that's my rating, honestly.
That's great. Yeah. Agreed.
What a great note. What a great conclusion to draw.
Yeah, wow.
Yep.
I think we definitely got it all, you know. It's all there. You know, and it's a short record. It's short and sweet, and
you know, I really wanted to get more into the lore about Beach Boys. I didn't have time to like read the entire story, but I feel like for me, like listening to albums is so much more interesting when you know the lore behind the songwriters and like what they're going through at the time, which is probably why like I got so into the Beatles because like the lore is literally so interesting, like behind every single album. So I'm wondering what there is to learn about the Beach Boys. I still have a lot to learn, so I'm excited to see what y'all's episodes are gonna teach me about the Beach Boys.
Yes.
Yes, that's so good.
Yeah. We
So do
all
we.
have a lot to learn. Honestly. We should watch the Paul Dano movie. That's how I'm gonna educate myself.
About it? Oh my god.
He
I love
plays he's one of the members. And it's really dramatic, of course. But yes.
Maybe we'll do that episode sooner than later.
Yes. And even just like doing research on Dennis because he was in the Charles Manson cult is also interesting lore in itself. So
yeah. Well,
Whoa.
I don't know. I just heard that they were friends. I don't know. Like, we went from friends to lived at the ranch and then was in the cult. Like, I don't know if he could have been. I don't know, but
okay, they're probably just friends, but still
he also
weird.
drowned when he was.
I mean, being friends with Charles Manson is problematic enough, I think, even if you're not in his cult.
Can you really just be friends with a cult leader?
True. Yeah. But that is something that would be interesting to get into because he was such I don't know, I think what I would imagine if you were a hippie in the 60s, it would seem like you're meeting Walt Disney or something. Which also apparently
Wait, what?
which
you're
also
Walt Disney if you're a hippie, what?
or I don't know, some kind of which I was gonna make some kind of parallel
Are you saying saying Charles Manson is to hippies as Walt Disney is to Disney adults? Is this parallel?
Yeah, okay, because he's so alluring, I think, and so he wrote songs. He had all these people around him. They were all on drugs.
Yeah, he was probably a really charismatic person.
Right. There's things
probably.
To be said.
I feel probably Jesus. If Jesus existed, he was probably kind of like Charles Manson.
Whoa, we're saying crazy things today. This podcast is legendary.
This might go. This might go to the extras. Some of this content, just because I don't want to
version.
Yeah, just because I don't want to lose family members.
Before anyone tells me, before anyone comes for me, what I mean is that Jesus was probably a really charismatic person, and that's why people were we need to follow this guy because he knows what he's talking about. Kind of like Charles Manson.
Every leader, I think, good or bad, needs that quality, and if they're successful or at least semi-successful in their whatever the heck they're trying to do, needs charisma. And yeah, I would agree maybe to a certain.
Well, it's true that you can draw a lot of parallels between cult leaders and Jesus because they always actively use Jesus as a platform to jump off or to draw parallels between themselves too, because Jesus foolishly promised the second coming, so now everybody's gonna be saying that they're the second coming of the Messiah. So Alanis, I think you have a valid point.
Thank you. Imagine how on theme I am with the Beach Boys that I am literally in front of the beach right now. Wait, you can't tell, but in that wall there's a beach. I promise.
Whoa! I wish I could. I saw your Snapchat stories.
I've been missing the beach crazy
ever
since I left.
And it's so horrendously gray in California right now, so I'm not gonna go to the beach anytime soon. But I took it for granted.
To continue like this.
Literally, what are these conditions?
Well, maybe it's an escape for us, the records.
Yeah, the records are my beach.
So true.
That's so deep.
Thank you.
Yeah, probably you probably had to readjust to not having the beach right in front of you every day, right? Because can't. At least when I stayed in Cannes, which was in Jenny's dorm, it was literally I would I opened the window at night and I could hear the ocean, and it was so relaxing.
Girl, you would like keep the window closed and listen to lotion sounds to fall asleep from your phone.
I did do that, but like I needed to say something dramatic. Like it's like it, at
No,
night,
it's yeah.
like
Well,
I would
in
open
theory,
the
you
window.
could have done that also. I did that sometimes, but it was
Just the
always a
fact that you
battle.
could have done it is yes, very
Yeah,
It's
moving.
always a battle with
Done it,
bugs, you know? Like if you're having the window open, then you could wake up with a million bug bites. But you're hearing
yeah,
the
that's what
ocean.
I mean. Like I could have done it, but instead I chose the safe way, which was just to play it on my phone and pretend that it was coming from the window.
Yeah, you're asleep. How can you tell?
Exactly.
Everyone's all the old Beach Boys heads, you know, after listening to Friends on vinyl are gonna, you know, obviously be listening to this podcast and they're gonna be like, can't believe Alanis listened to ocean sounds on the phone.
Fake Beach Boy. Fake Beach Boy. If you listen to beach sounds not from the beach.
I'm such a disappointment. Yes. Do any of you guys have this album on vinyl?
No, I don't have any Beach Boys on vinyl.
I have Pet Sounds. And I think I have another one, but I'm not sure.
I'm sure it'll change.
There's only one record store in Puerto Rico, and like I went there a week ago, and like I bought Help, I think, by the Beatles, and then I was like, oh, do you guys have like all these albums like from other artists? And I made them a list, and they were like, okay, we're gonna call you when we have those. And then they literally like texted me today, and one of the albums that I wanted was All Things Must Pass by George Harrison, and it's literally $111. Like, what is this?
It's a triple album. It's I'm asking for that for my birthday because it's huge. Like it's
insane. Like sent me Sergeant Pepper's, and they were like, it's 50, and I was like, girl. And then they were like, George Harrison, $111. I was like, no.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it depends if it's new or used. Like that, All Things Must Pass just got remastered, so it could be that version. But yeah, normally it's expensive too, even if it's like the 2009 or the original. Like, yeah, it's an expensive record. But I saw Love You on sale for the Beach Boys for like $5 or $6, and I should have gotten it.
$5? You should have gotten that. Like, why did you miss the opportunity?
I know. And I will, you know, it just, I don't know, it depends. Like in the moment, if I want it sometimes, it just depends. I don't know, but I will get Beach Boys records soon. And I'm tempted, if I see any of the records we've been talking about, I'll definitely be tempted, depending on the price. But if they're anything like that, I mean, and it makes sense, I guess, also, Alanis, because there's like crazy, there's only one record store in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, no, there's only one. Unless you want to count Urban Outfitters, then there's two.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Get that K through 12 vinyl.
You have like Target there too? Do you have Targets?
Oh, we don't. We do not have Target because actually we have like this car rental thing that's called Target. So legally they cannot bring a Target to Puerto Rico because we already technically have a Target that has nothing to do with the one in US.
Wow. What if you guys become a state?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen if we become a state. That's
weird.
That's a really controversial topic that I will not comment on because if my Puerto Rican friends see this podcast, they're gonna be like, "You're promoting statehood." So, anyways.
Oh, so you're for statehood?
Well,
No,
kind of.
Whoa!
Send it to all your friends right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's totally another podcast discussion, but
just the statehood of Puerto Rico.
I did think it's interesting. Yes. My geography is completely off because you're on Eastern time, which is an hour ahead of me.
I'm on the same time as New York and Florida and all that.
Wow.
Except in the winter, then we're like 1 hour behind or forward. I don't know.
Oh, okay, so you might be on my central time if you're behind. If you're forward, you're not. But.
I was actually looking at a map recently because I wanted to orient myself in the world. I gotta touch base every couple of months. And I was singing Kokomo in my head as I do. And I was going through the locations and like finding them on the map. First of all, Jamaica in a totally different place than I was. Second of all,
Hawaii
Puerto Rico is so tiny. Like
it is small. It's literally like, so right now I'm in Cabo Rojo, which is this like town that's like on the super end of the island, and then where my hometown Guaynabo is like almost at the super end of the other side, and to get there from there to here it's only 3 hours. Like it's 3 hours to go from one end to the other end, basically.
wow.
That's
Small.
so cool.
Yeah. America is also way too big though, so when I see other countries that are small, it's like mind-boggling to me when it shouldn't be, because I don't know.
Well, it just feels to me like a bigger state when I go to another country. At least in France sometimes, but also.
Oh yeah, France is also way smaller than I thought it was.
But France would seem huge. Like, I mean, you could travel the whole country in a day, like if you spent the day traveling. But it's just like.
Oh yeah, I took a train from Paris to Cannes it was like 5 hours.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, but that's annoying though. Like I wanted to go to France, and then like it said that the train was like 6 hours from Cannes.
That's
to
technically a day, like a daytime. You know?
Yeah. I mean, and even flying from one end of the country to the other, it's like an hour at most.
Yeah.
Like, which is like, you can't even do that. You could never do that in the US.
It's like 9 hours, right? If you do New York to LA or something.
Yeah,
I think it's like 5 hours.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I have to cross, like I have to go from Puerto Rico to like either New York or Florida, and then Florida or New York to California, and then that's like 5 hours, and then 3 hours from here to like East Coast.
Right. It's almost 4 hours for me when I fly, so I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know how long. I need to test flying to the East Coast because I've never done that. I've only flown west.
Oh, you've never been to the East Coast? What?
I might go this summer if I have time.
We should all go to Puerto Rico because I literally had a dream that I was at your house.
You should all come. Go. Like I'm literally like telling you guys to come right now. Like,
remember when we were gonna go like freshman year?
No, that was like such a legitimate plan. Like literally, it was so like real for a second. Like it was literally like right there, and then like last minute, everyone was like, "Actually, I can't."
Well, I was like, everybody would ask like, "Are you gonna go to Puerto Rico?" I was like, "I don't think so." Mostly because there were people that were invited that I didn't like. But
spring break.
I'm down now. I'm ready to hang with. Actually, I say I'm ready to hang with your friends, but literally, whenever they come to the US, I literally never say a word because I'm literally so awkward and shy.
No, but like my friends all still love you. Like they're all like, "Yes, Genny."
Yes, dímelo.
I had all my Puerto Rican friends who will probably watch this. Or
yes, shout out Irmari, Alondra, Anemia, Georgie. You were in my dream with Alanis. Not in a weird way. You were just kind of there because I don't know. I think my story. I mean, well, I think I just see your story where it's just like you and Georgie in a white room, and then that like went into my brain.
No, yeah, my house is like so minimalist because like my dad is a minimalist king for some reason, and he designed the house, so the entire house is just all white, and then some pops of color here and there.
Yeah.
So it's valid that in your dream we were just in a white space.
Yes, there wasn't much for my brain to like make up because it was kind of just like, yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to the PR girlies if they're watching the extended version for some reason and they made it this far.
Yeah, no, actually, me and Georgie listened to this podcast last week. So
Wow.
yeah, shout out Georgie.
No way.
Shout out.
That's so cool.
We should put that shout out in the original in the Spotify abridged version, just so Jordy can hear it.
Oh,
Literally, yes, we
we'll
should
put it right at the end, and then this theme song will start playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
Sounds
a great episode. Here, I'll stop recording now.
Wait, no, you have to do the outro. Like you have to be like.
Oh yeah.
Bye.
Well, listeners, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Scarves Only Know. I'm here with Jenny and Alanis.
Wait, sorry for interrupting. Like,
no, go ahead.
Are you guys not gonna introduce next week's episode with like?
Oh,
how could we not?
Bruh, Alanis is literally a better Scarves Only Know.
This entire podcast.
Literally.
Well, it's not concrete yet, so I might have to confirm it, but I will say it now and then I'll confirm it. I'm hoping to get my friend Quinn Robinson to talk about the gem Beach Boys Love You of 1975, the year. It was shown to me by Quinn, so that's why I feel it's appropriate that we have Quinn. Also, Quinn's just like a huge music dude, so yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. If it's okay with Jenny, I don't know. It's
not okay.
Not okay?
No.
Oh, okay.
It can't happen.
Then we'll find someone else.
Yes, Quinn.
Yes. Okay. Hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, thanks for reminding me, Alanis.
Yes.
We'll have you back for hopefully the movie episode, maybe, since you so much.
Oh yeah, if you want to watch the Paul Dano movie and report.
I'll watch the Paul Dano movie. I love Paul Dano, so.
And I think for whatever reason I wanted to have Lydia on that week also.
Oh my god.
On that one?
Yeah.
I thought she was on the last one with Isaac.
I think that's what I put though for that one.
You put the movie?
I think so. Unless I put an album.
Oh wait, you actually might have done. Whoa.
I think I put the movie.
That'll be fun.
A fun one. That could be one we could try to do in person, like the very last one. But also we want to watch it, so like.
Oh yeah, it is a movie.
Now and then rewatch it. I don't know.
Yes.
We'll see.
I will watch it either way because it seems like a good movie, like Paul Dano. So.
Yes.
Also, I should. Oh yeah, I'll stop recording now, but we'll keep.